component of GTG called RISE, or Renewable Integration and Sustainable Energy, is implementing a series of grid integration pilots to validate or test technologies to support grid integration of renewable energy in the Indian context. And we are delighted to welcome all of you to join us for the successful completion of the AGC pilot at Sharavati. Together with our pilot partners, KPCL and KPTCL, we will be showcasing this pilot shortly. Our teams are at KPCL Sharavati, as well as SLDC are ready to go live. But before that, a few housekeeping announcements. We would be recording the session. This is only for internal purposes, and we don't intend to make it public, but I hope that's fine with KPCL as well as KPTCL. Also, I would request all the panel members to please switch on the camera so that we could take a photo, for posterity, I would say. So if I could ask everybody to please put on their cameras, Mr. Narasimhan, Mr. Suni, Sharavati, KPCL team, I see Mr. Suni, Rainier, I see number of people. Okay, so Bhupi, just let me know. I would request everybody to please give a smile. And Tushar, I don't see you, so please put on your camera and let's all smile for the camera. Give a thumbs up once you're done, Bhupi. Done? Bhupi, are you done? That's a very long. I hope
You're
you
on
have
mute,
got
so we
everybody.
can't hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming that he got
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, that's a relief to know. We have been smiling like crazy. Yeah? Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. And without further ado, let me welcome our first speaker, Julia Kennedy, who will be delivering the welcome remarks. Julia is the Deputy Indo-Pacific Coordinator at USAID India and has been now in India for almost 4 years. Before being the Indo-Pacific Coordinator, she was also the Deputy Director of FLIO, where you had met her many times. So Ms. Kennedy has also served in Haiti and Ecuador, and before joining USAID, she has worked for Department of State, Climate Change Negotiation Team, a nonprofit organization in Chicago, and was also a Peace Corps volunteer. So I'll let Julia welcome everyone. So over to you, Julia.
Thanks, Manali. Here, let me just double check. Yes, I am not on mute. Starting off on a good foot. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and I absolutely welcome all the pleasant welcomes from my colleague Manali. So on behalf of the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID, I am really delighted to welcome our honored guests to today's virtual Go Live event for the Automatic Generation Control Pilot. Mr. Narayan, the Joint Secretary of the Ministry of Power, Mr. Baba, the Chairman and Managing Director of the Power System Operation Corporation, Mr. Ponuraj, Managing Director at Karnataka Power Corporation Limited, Mr. Chandrashakariya, Managing Director at Karnataka Power Transmission Corporation Limited, and all the other representatives from the Government of India and our other esteemed participants. So glad that you can all be here. USAID, in partnership with KPCL, and POSCO, is pleased to announce the live demonstration of the AGC pilot test run at Sharavati Hydro Plant. Pilot will guide system operators on the prerequisites for maintaining an array of ancillary reserve services to balance the supply and demand of energy in real time. Renewable energy deployment in India is essential not only to enhance energy security within the country, also to lower the carbon footprint for the entire South Asian region. Strengthening energy security and expanding access to sustainable and clean energy across the Indo-Pacific is the key mandate of the US government's Asia Enhancing Development and Growth Through Energy Initiative, which is also called Asia Edge, and which is one aspect of our work to further the United States' vision for a free, open, stable, and prosperous Indo-Pacific region. Through Asia Edge and other ongoing initiatives, such as the U.S.-India Strategic Energy Partnership, the United States has repeatedly demonstrated its commitment to the Indian and South Asian energy sector. Our goal, which reflects the leading policies and priorities of Indian decision-making, is to support India in building a resilient power sector in which clean energy occupies a pivotal role. As part of a joint initiative with the Government of India's Ministry of Power, USAID's Greening the Grid, Renewable Integration and Sustainable Energy Program for the G2G RISE initiative is implementing a series of pilots and demonstrations to validate technologies and solutions that will support large-scale integration of renewable energy into the Indian power grid. This effort is contributing to evidence-based policy and regulatory framework, strengthening institutional and human capacities, and incentivizing private sector engagement. I'm also very proud that G2G RISE has been supporting the South Asia Women in Energy platform, which will have an event tomorrow, and looking to bring women and more gender equality and empowerment into the energy sector. Today's Go Live event marks the culmination of one pilot, the AGC for Saravati Hydropower Plant, a significant milestone in our joint program that could be a vital step towards building a robust grid and aiding in developing a scalable roadmap policymakers and regulators can use in adopting AGC for hydro and other renewable generation. I'm looking forward to seeing the live demonstration and hearing from all the dignitaries taking part today. While we take stock of this current progress, we are also looking to the future. At the U.S.-India Strategic Energy Partnership Ministerial meeting held earlier this year, several new areas for cooperation were prioritized, including modernizing the power system for emerging digital technologies and advanced IT management tools. At the Indo-Pacific Business Forum, which was held in late October, or the third annual one was held in late October, USAID announced new investments worth more than $28 million in regional energy programs for India and South Asia through the Asia Edge initiative. This is one of the largest investments that USAID has made in the South Asian energy sector in decades. We look forward to continuing our collaboration with the Government of India to address these new areas of cooperation. Our achievements together have been many, and I look forward to this partnership growing even. Before concluding, I would like to express my appreciation to Joint Secretary Narayan, his colleague Gautam Ghosh, for their leadership, as well as Mr. KVS Baba and the POSCO team for their guidance and support for the G2G RISE initiative. To our partners on this pilot in KPCL and KTCL, please also accept sincere gratitude. Additionally, I would like to thank G2G RISE, implemented by Deloitte, and Power Research Development Consultants for their work on the AGC pilot and organizing this event. And finally, to all today's participants, I'm so glad you joined us, and I hope we all find it to be a worthwhile and interesting demonstration. So thank you very much. Back over to you, Manoj.
Thank you so much, Julia. And time for our pilot partners to also say a few words. So I'll request Mr. Punnu Raj, Managing Director at KPCL. Mr. Punnu Raj is a 2000 batch IAS officer and is currently the Managing Director at KPCL. He has earlier held several important positions in the state, including the office of the Chief Electoral Officer, as Subdivisional Revenue Assistant Commissioner and Joint Secretary at the CM's office. So I'm very glad to welcome you, sir, and over to you.
Thanks, madam. Thanks, Manali. Thanks, Julia. And I also acknowledge the presence of Joint Secretary Mr. Mrityunjay Kumar and KV Babu CMD POSCO and other participants in this workshop. It's my pleasure to give opening remarks in this program. KPCL being one of the largest high capacity owner in the country, we're happy to collaborate with Government of India and USAID in this program of greening the grid. It's always a pleasure that if you are contributing to the environment, cause of the environment, as well as to the society at large, apart from being in the business. So it's a privilege. So having given that opportunity and making KPCL being one of the first entrants into this trial of automatic automatic governance control system, I'm very proud on behalf of my organization as well as my employees who are participating in this program. However, I would like to add the remarks from the critical views of inputs who are generally at the receiving end in the country. Now, the whole issue of balancing the grid or greening the grid arises from the point of balancing the fluctuations which arise due to high level of penetration of RE sources in the whole energy mix of the country. Now, if you look at the level of penetration in the country, it's at around 8 to 10% of RE penetration in the country as a whole. However, if you look at the scenario in Karnataka, it is about 40 to 50. And if you look at the data of 1920 and 2021, few months we have crossed even 50%. And on an average, we are at 39 to 40%, which is almost as good as the largest, the pioneer in RE penetration, which is in the world, which is Germany. So, the state of Karnataka has been the pioneer in pushing the RE sources in the energy needs of the state. Then compared to other states who are at around 10 to 12% level, even at the national level, it is about 10 to 12%, but whereas in Karnataka it is about 50%. So, with this high level of RE penetration, we have the high level of fluctuations in the grid, which needs to be matched, which needs to be balanced. And Karnataka, having been gifted with 3,600 to 4,000 megawatt of hydro generation, we are able to successfully cope up without the presence of pump storage project, which otherwise would have been a very basic necessity for having this high level of RE penetration. Either the pump storage project or it would have been, it would have necessitated the storage in the form of battery, grid level battery storage. Now, as Karnataka has been gifted with high level of high level of hydro generation, we are able to manage without causing any problem to the state grid, and as well as we are supporting the national grid. Now, when we talk about automatic governance control, as well as moving towards a system in which the generation as well as the transmission and distribution gets completely integrated in a two-way communication protocol, which finally takes care of minute-to-minute balancing of the grid. So we need to look at this program from the benefit as well as cost point of view. When we look at the benefit, yes, 100% it supports more penetration of RE, renewable energy sources. However, the renewable energy sources, which once upon a time needed to be promoted at the cost of fossil fuel sources, now have actually attained the grid parity. Having attained grid parity or even having bettered it, probably it's time for RE sources to even to come out with a system in which cost has to be equally balanced between the sources. Else, country at large will have to bear large costs. So when we look at this automatic governance control and the two-way protocol between the GenCo and the grid management, we need to look at what kind of implications it has on the generation systems. Now, when we look at the generation systems, it has to play a second fiddle to the must-run status. The RE sources enjoying the must-run status. Now, from the level of base load supplier to the level of or to the role of balancing and playing second fiddle to the RE sources, because the government and the society at large would like to promote RE sources, is a paradigm shift, and the paradigm shift comes at a cost. When it comes at a cost has to be looked at from the balance of from the viewpoint of the GenCos who are largely into RE and the GenCos who are largely into the hydel and other sources. Now, while hydel energy would be called upon to perform the role of balancing the grid, we need to look at the marginal cost of balancing the grid using the hydel sources. Now, if you look at the marginal cost, it comes in the form of operating cost as well as capex. Now, all of us we know better understand that apart from the cost of operation going up, because all the time to respond to the grid, we need to keep more and more operational manpower, operational systems to respond. The other factor which would be mattering is that the life of the systems will also undergo quite a bit of stress. When the systems which are generally designed, originally if you look at the design philosophy, they're all designed to operate at around 80 to 90% plant load factor. When such a system has been designed, all its critical speed, runoff speed, and all of them have been designed to operate at that level. Now we are going to look at a scenario in which the plant will have to operate at 80%, 50%, or 20%, 10%, or even 0% whenever it is necessary to balance the grid. Then the system, the capital components will come under severe stress, compromising on the life of the hydel generation systems, which will definitely add to the replacement cost as well as maintenance cost of the capital assets in the GenCos. Hence, we need to always have a balanced view of the need for AGC and the need for generation management in the hydel sector. As well as when we look at AGC, we also need to look at, it would be easy, and in fact, I can tell you very well that irrespective of this program of greening the grid as well as automatic governance control system, KPCL is planning to move forward and then bring all its units under remote control system, remote generation management system by bringing complete automation in its fleet. Now we have major 4 or 5 generation locations. All the systems are being upgraded in such a way that we would be able to control the entire system with the press of a button in a remote location. That is what is the trend in which we are moving toward, and probably within a year or two we should be able to reach that position. So irrespective of this program, we are on the path of remote management of our remote generation management of our power plants. However, always we should keep in mind that AGC has to be, since since that remote management is already on the plans of KPCL, it should not be an issue to achieve AGC at a minimal intervention level. But having said that, we are in the process of preparing process re-engineering document for achieving automatic generation management system. Within the organization, we are already at it. And we have set up a committee which is looking into it. So when we talk about remote control, remote generation management system, there is an important factor which comes into play, that we need to take up these plans for annual maintenance plan as well as major overhaul systems, which will have to follow the periodic schedule as well as the systems which will be governing predictive maintenance, so that we would be in a better position to achieve efficiency as well as generation efficiency. So when that comes, AGC will have a clash with maintenance plan. How do we balance that also needs to be considered. I'm not passing any judgment at this point of time, but I only would like to flag the issue of AGC versus maintenance schedule, which will have to be maintenance plan, which will have to be put in place for a healthy life of hydro generation systems. And similarly, when we look at the AGC's effect on the life of the GENCO, the hydro generation systems and maintenance mechanisms, we also need to factor in what kind of additional cost it will bring in when it comes to the regular maintenance as well as replacement maintenance. That also needs to be looked in. Having said all this, if you look at the GENCOs, generally GENCOs owning the hydel generation is largely with the state GENCOs. However, if you look at the GENCOs who are into RE, it is largely private sector. Now, we are going to balance the grid, and we are going to balance the grid for whom? We are going to balance the grid for the benefit of the private GENCOs who supply RE power. Maybe they are in a desirable form of energy. However, at what cost do they come in, and what is the cost they impose upon the state GENCOs needs to be thought about. Now, with that, the issues like the contracts we have with the DISCOMs and the load dispatch centers will have to be looked at, because KPCL's contract will come to an end by 2023-24. After that, whether we would be willing to support the state grid, and we will be willing to support the cause of private sector, which is largely playing the role of RE sector, will have to be looked at. And unless otherwise Karnataka Power Corporation is compensated adequately, KPCL may not be willing to participate in the program thereafter. I mean, in the initial trial and testing this technical capabilities should not be an issue. We will definitely 100% with wholeheartedly we will be participating. But then when it comes to the balance between the state GENCOs and the private sector, which is largely into RE sector, if it is not balanced by way of proper compensation before the PPA ends and after the PPA comes to an end, probably we will see some kind of unwillingness to participate in this program of balancing the grid or bringing the grid from the state GENCOs, which largely bear the cost of the balancing of the grid due to the RE penetration. And also, I would like to caution that when the government of India is already on course to add capacity hereafter with round-the-clock power capacity addition, the need for AGC and then balancing the grid will have to be looked at either from the viewpoint of the grid managers versus the GENCO managers. I would 100% prefer that RTC would be the best route rather than using the clout of the load dispatch centers or the grid managers. Because grid managers, by virtue of the legal position so far, they have been having an absolute unburdened no power to control every GenCo. However, this has to be balanced, and the regulators will have to come in such a way that there has to be a balance between using this balance either at the grid level or at the GenCo level. I would 100% support the cause of balancing this at the GenCo level, because Government of India has come out with a good policy of round the clock power generation capacity addition, which actually makes the RE generators to couple with the hydro generation, so that this issue of balancing the grid and supplying a stable power, reliable power to the grid by the GenCos will be sorted out among themselves. And I'm not taking away the point that even at that stage also we need to do this testing, and then we need to demonstrate this capability of matching these fluctuations in RE generation with the rest of the sources. So I would 100% support the cause of this experiment and this trial, and we are wholeheartedly participating in this. But then we need to look at other aspects of contract, other aspects of balancing between state GenCo and the RE penetration in the grid, and the balancing of the grid at the grid level or at the GenCos level will have to be looked at from multiple perspectives rather than going only by the view of balancing the grid, because everything comes at a cost. So with these words, I'm assuring all of you that KPCL will participate in this program, and KPCL will stand to demonstrate that this program is possible, because most of our plants, we have installed systems which actually qualify easily to switch over to automatic generation control. So with these words, I would request the Government of India as well as the agencies involved in this experiment to recommend a balanced view, so that going forward this program will be taken up not only from the viewpoint of balancing the grid, but also from balancing the source mix as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Punuraj. Some interesting things you said, and I'm sure policymakers will be looking at all those elements which you highlighted. We'll now move on to the next speaker, Mr. Chandrasekharanya, who would be making introductory remarks on behalf of Dr. Manjula, who unfortunately could not join today. So I'll just quickly pass over to Mr. Chandrasekharanya, who is one of the key members of Karnataka SLDC and has played a very pivotal role in this particular pilot. So over to you, Mr. Chandrasekharanya. Go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure. AGC for hydro plants was planned under the scheme. As per the CERC outlined a roadmap of October 2015 for implementation of reserve in the country in a phased manner. Agencies consider as an important requirement in this regard for enabling secondary control. NLDC POSACO has outlined the need to implement AGC pilot across the region in the grid and covering all the forms of generation, thermal, hydro, and RE. To support this effort, USAID, in consultation with NLDC POSACO, is implementing AGC pilot in the southern region at 2 hydro plants and 1 solar plant under GTG RISE, Greening the Grid program. Renewable integration of suitable energy. The pilot site for hydro are KPCL plants, Sharavati 1035 megawatt and Varahi 460 megawatt at Karnataka. And the AGC solar plant is being implemented at NP Kunta Ultra Mega Solar Park in Andhra Pradesh. Currently, AGC pilot at Sharavati Hydro Plant is implemented successfully. In fact, going live now. NLDC had awarded this project to PRDC. PRDC digitally tied up with KPCL, Sharavati, and KPTCL SCADA system for fine-tuning of the process. Existing SCADA in KPTCL, which was installed in 2007, had this technology inbuilt in the system. The existing SCADA had all the features of AGC module. AGC control is based on area control error value received from NLDC, RLDC, SCADA MS system. This pilot is part of a significant national level initiative to test AGC before implementation of CERC's mandatory rollout of AGC across all interstate stations as per the order. This will help load dispatch easier considering the complexity of generation mix and variability in the load. So I thank personally the entire team of KPTCL team who worked along with the vendor for getting it operationalized, even with a lot of hurdles with the system supplier. And also I thank PRDC, including Dr. Nagaraja, and the constant support given by NLDC. And it is my pleasure to sit in front of you, like Sony. They all know what is Sharavati. Sir used to tell about Sharavati. I mean, then whenever we meet in the forums. So I thank one and all for supporting this activity, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chandrasekharan. I will now move on to our next speaker for the afternoon, Mr. Baba, and he needs no introduction. He's the CMD for POSOCO, and with plenty of experience, 34 years of experience and a very deep knowledge of power system planning, power system analysis, corporate planning, project system operation, market operation, and so on and so forth. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Unali, and thank you, GTG Rice team, for making one more, all the system operators very happy with another AGC operation. And indeed, it is we always look for such events actually. System operation now with the introduction of renewables, it's going to become very complex actually. So it's very heartening to see Karnataka. Of course, they are always first in any of the integration and all system-oriented issues. So once again, they have proved that they are upfront there. And I congratulate KPTCL, SLDC, and all the KPTCL teams for this. And on the part of the AGC, actually, we need, I mean, many a times we interact with many countries. They always wonder how India is such a big system and interconnected with managing 180 gigawatts or such a, and without running AGC, they always wonder. So we also told that we'll come. So anyhow, you all know that 5 pilot projects across the country have been already wired and many more are coming. Now our NLDC SCADA also is getting upgraded and already 15 gigawatts have come and it's going to soon touch 20 gigawatts and maybe by another 5-6 months it will touch 40 gigawatts of thermal plants getting connected to our AGC, and many hydro projects are also getting connected. So it is a dream come true for all the system operators. And on this part, I mean, Mr. Chandrasekharan and Mr. Ponuraj have already told many features of it, and so I'm not going into it, and I only congratulate and welcome all the initiatives of GTC Rice. Once again, thanks for inviting me to be part of this program, and I'm definitely delighted. And thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Baba, as usual, for your support and guidance. We will now move to the keynote address and the key speaker for today, Mr. Mrityunjay Kumar Narayan. Mr. Narayan is a 1995 batch IAS officer, currently serving as the Joint Secretary Transmission and IT in Ministry of Power. In a career spanning of around 25 years, he has held several key positions, including Secretary to the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Commissioner in Commercial Tax and Entertainment, Subdivision Magistrate, and so on. So we are delighted to have you join us, sir. So over to you, Mr. Mrityunjay.
Yes. So thank you, Manali, for giving me this opportunity here. In this special event, AGC Live event for Shravati Power Plant, present here on this occasion, Ms. Julia Kennedy, Deputy Indo-Pacific Coordinator for USAID, Mr. Ponu Raj, MD, KPCL, Mr. KVS Baba, CMD, POSOCO, and all the distinguished participants. It gives me a great pleasure to be here today on this epochal AGC Go Live and a live event for Shravati Power Plant under GTG RISE, which is a joint initiative between Ministry of Power, Government of India, and USAID. On this occasion, I would like to extend my hearty congratulations to Mr. Ponu Raj, Dr. Manjula, Mr. KVS Baba, and the respective teams from KPCL, KPTCL, and POSOCO who have taken keen interest and part in this AGC pilot implementation in Karnataka. I'd also like to thank Ms. Julia Kennedy, Deputy Indo-Pacific Coordinator, and her team at USAID and GTG RISE for undertaking this very important initiative, this pilot in Karnataka. The pilot on enablement of automatic generation control for the hydro plant at Shravati is an important milestone in India's target of deploying 175 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2022. As you are aware that right now we have renewable energy capacity of 90 gigawatt, and we intend to expand it to 175 gigawatt by 2022. And subsequently, our Honorable Prime Minister has made commitment of having 400 gigawatt by 2030. It's a huge task. And this increasing penetration of RE requires surplus capacity or spinning reserves to be available with system operators for emergencies to maintain grid reliability and stability. It's no wonder Mr. Baba has expressed his happiness to have this system AGC pilot in Karnataka. And the center, we know that Central Electricity Regulatory Commission also has outlined a roadmap in October 2015 for implementing spinning reserves in the country in a phased manner. Implementation of automatic generation control is an important step for enabling the secondary control. Several AGC test runs were conducted by the Government of India for thermal plants previously. For instance, started with a pilot at NTPC Dadri. However, in addition to these test run or pilots, the Government of India has planned AGC test runs for all forms of generating, including generations, including hydro and renewable energy across the different regions. Therefore, when USAID was in discussion with the Government of India on identification of potential pilots to be implemented under its new bilateral program, Greening the Grid RISE initiative in 2017, it was proposed to include AGC pilot on hydropower and solar generators. Karnataka, with its rich RE penetration along with hydro generation, was selected in the southern region of this pilot. I commend the power officials of Karnataka for undertaking this project, this pilot project. AGC enablement is an important step towards establishing ancillary services market to manage system level variability due to RE integration. The go live of the AGC pilot at KPCL's hydro plant at Shravati marks an important step in showcasing pathways for implementation of AGC at the state and national level. The pilot will enable the SLDC and RLDC to manage the real time demand supply mismatch through the AGC through the AGC at state hydro generating plants. As I understand, in next 3 months, the AGC usage will be tried and tested both by the system operators at SLDC and the KPCL SAPTE with support from the GTG RISE team. And this will then lead to development of a technical report and a scalability roadmap for the state as well as the national government. So after this, we have sufficient data. We will be able to answer many of the questions that distinguished participants have raised in this meeting, and we will be better informed to take suitable decision. I'm also looking forward to the completion of other AEC pilots under the GTG RISE initiative, that is at Varahi Hydropower and the NTPC NP Kunta Solar Park. I'm sure that this will add more learnings to the national roadmap on the AGC rollout. I would like to acknowledge the leadership of Mr. Ponuraj from KPCL and Ms. Dr. Manjula from KPTCL for their foresight, leadership to participate in this pilot of national importance. I would also like to thank Mr. Baba for his team and his team at POSOCO for their guidance on these pilots conducted under GTG RISE. I would also like to thank USAID for their partnership in taking forward some of these important pilot projects under its GTG RISE initiative. I strongly believe that collaboration between India and US will help India transition to a low carbon energy sector with a flexible, reliable, and efficient grid to foster and enhance renewable energy integration. Indians will certainly learn from US experience and expertise of implementing these cutting-edge technologies, and surely US also will learn from these experiences as we deploy renewable energy at such a large scale, one of the highest in the world. We also look forward to the US-India engagement getting stronger with the implementation of Asia Age, as mentioned by Julia earlier. At the end of it, I would like to congratulate once again all the distinguished team who have made this happen, who have been involved in this pilot project, and we look forward to the demonstration. And I must certainly thank the USAID team for inviting me here for this special epoch-making event. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Narayan. We are really delighted to have you. And as we are running a little late, I'll quickly move into the next section, which is the context-setting presentation by Dr. Nagaraja. And he's also advising, he's a senior advisor at GTG RISE and managing director at PRDC. So over to you, Dr. Nagaraja.
Okay, thank you, Manali, and also the team. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Oh, fine then. I welcome you all for the context setting regarding the automatic generation AGC control program, the pilot project, which is going live on the KPCL Sharavati hydro plant. And the program has been supported by the POSOCO. In fact, actually, their experience, what they have learned in the Dadri project, has helped us a lot. And their entire team, their inputs, whatever the guidance they are given, that has helped us. And also it has been partnered with the KPCL and also KPTCL. The entire team has cooperated. Therefore, it's a program of the multi-organizational cooperation. I once again thank everyone for all the support. Next slide, please. Can you just change this slide? If you look at this, the overall program, the pilot scope is to implement the AGC at 2 hydro stations, the Sharavati. The Sharavati was started somewhere in 1960s, and then it was initially about 83 megawatt, which has been finally upgraded to 103 megawatt, 10 units. Therefore, the 1035 megawatt and about 4 into 120 megawatt, 460 megawatt at Varahi. That is what actually the projects that is going to be there as part of this AGC. And there is one more project, that is a solar power plant at the NTPC's NP Kunta project, 250 megawatt, which is also going to be evaluated.
I think we are having some challenges with the video.
Sir, Dr. Nagaraj, sir, you can stop your video, sir, so that your voice will be continued.
Maybe a bandwidth issue with the networks.
KERC, the local regulator.
Dr.
Oh,
Nagaraj,
yes.
sir, Dr. Nagaraj, sir.
Okay.
So you can stop your video, sir, so that because your audio is breaking.
Okay, fine.
Yes, you can stop video and you can continue, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. Then to demonstrate the various benefits of the AGC within Karnataka, so that actually we'll be able to find out what is the incentive mechanism. I heard the KPCL MD talking about that actually, yes, there are various varying and pair with respect to the operational cost and also the maintenance. Today, Sharavati being about 50 paise per unit, that is the cost being there. Okay, but actually what is important to understand here is the real value of the Sharavati generation for the support that can give in the ancillary services, frequency maintenance, scheduling, and also to bring down the area control error and participate in the deviation settlement mechanism and all. I feel that this 50 paise value what we are giving for Sharavati, it is not at all appropriate in this regime of the high RE penetration. Therefore, I would like to tell that as part of this program, we are also going to come out with an incentive mechanism for KPCL. What is going to help the KPCL? Next slide, please. Therefore, if you look at the overall program, the stage one is conceptualization and also the pilot implementation. This was the journey how we started. Therefore, totally 1765 megawatt of idle and 250 megawatt solar has been considered. Demonstration of the AGC pilot on the hydro and also the RE plants in the southern India. That's how actually the conceptualization started. Then once the AGC pilot is implemented, a compensation framework for the AGC support will be there, where we are going to find out a methodology so that actually how the AGC is going to benefit the grid and how it is going to increase the RE penetration in the grid and what is the suitable compensation that can be there for the participation in the secondary control. And it is also going to help the various implementation agencies and design, modeling and implementation of the economic evaluation of having the AGC. Therefore, some of the questions being raised by the KPCL MD is going to be answered in the second stage, that is a compensation framework that is going to be developed, and also how it can be scaled up across India. See, whatever the lessons we have learned from the Dadri project in Delhi, that is a thermal power plant, and the lessons that we are going to learn from the Sharavati and Varahi, and also the lessons that we are going to learn from the solar project, MP Konta, all those lessons are going to be there so that we'll be able to see how the across the India AGC can be scaled up. Therefore, is the overall the project's outline, if you see, the project was started in 2017, understanding the various site visits were there, and what are the lacuna in terms of the implementation of the various sites were looked into, and based upon that, now we are there in the phase where the demonstration of the AGC and also the pilot at Sharavati will be there, and more or less the work is completed at the Andhra also. Now, next please. If you see the next please, if you see the overall scope, therefore 2017 the journey started. Now we are at actually the AGC pilot go live. There are various milestones that have been there, and the support were there from the KPCL, KPTCL, and also the POSOCO guidance were there. And there was a very good support from the vendors, so that actually whatever the shortcomings were there in the SCADA implementation, whatever the shortcomings were there at the KPCL, Sharavati, and also Varahi, we are able to look into that and then actually be able to understand what is that is required for the successful implementation of the pilot. Next, please. Next slide. Therefore, if you look at the key interventions, enhancement of the existing control facilities, therefore it is a 150 megawatt into 4 at Varahi and 103.5 into 10 units at Sharavati. Therefore, we looked into what are the shortfalls there. Enhancement of the existing control facilities at Karnataka. I would like to talk about something about Sharavati. There was a major fire at Sharavati, and after that, actually, the complete control center has been modernized. Therefore, if you go and see the Sharavati plant, you don't feel that actually it is about 70 years old plant. That is what actually one of the greatest things we are able to achieve in Karnataka. And if the COVID were not to be there, I would have liked to host all of you in Sharavati, because my native place is also very close to that village, out of the very close to Jog Falls, would have actually hosted all of you in our native place. In fact, actually, we missed that opportunity because of the COVID, but definitely would like all the participants, all the delegates here to visit the place. And then definitely it is a marvelous place, and therefore we should all try to see that actually we are able to participate in this pilot project. And these interventions were made possible through the USAID grant support and the technical assistance from the DTD RISE team. Next, please. Therefore, if you look at the next slide, therefore, if you look at the overall there, in the AGC pilot at the SLDC Bengaluru, hydro, the Varahi and Sharavati conventional generations were taken, the renewable energy that is there, system reliability has been looked into, and the demand plus the losses, taking all those things into account, the area control error within Karnataka is being calculated. That the overall idea is to bring down whether this area control error can be brought down. The convention that has been used for the area control error signal is that the positive means Karnataka is in surplus, negative ACE means actually Karnataka is in deficit. Therefore, the signal has been considered in such a way so that when the area control error is positive, Karnataka is surplus, a signal goes to the participating generator, whether it's Sharavati at present and then Varahi later, so that the generation is going to come down. Subsequently, if the area control error is negative, which implies actually we are drawing the power based upon the whatever the deviation is there from the scheduled power, we are drawing the extra power, therefore the generation has to come down. Therefore, the ACE that has been generated from the SRLDC has been considered for the control so that the AGC can be implemented. Next, please. We have all learned that actually automatic generation control in our undergraduate program, but it is very much essential that actually, even though primary control, secondary control, all these things were there, we took a lot of experience and also the years to see that actually both primary control, free governing mode is in operation in India and also the AGC being there. If you look at the pilot at Sharavati, the existing SCADA system were there, and then with the vendor, ABB in this case, the substation controller has been supplied there, and also the various other hardwares and also the gateway servers were collected so that actually we are able to get the signal from the LDC of KPTCL and then set the appropriate signal. And also, next slide, please. The bidirectional communication has been established. If you see earlier, the one-way communication was there. Now there is a bidirectional communication. Therefore, these are the lessons learned. Tomorrow, for example, if any other hydel plant, maybe in Nagarjuna or at Srisailam or anywhere the project has to be implemented, whatever the lessons that we have learned now, using those lessons, definitely will be able to speed up the entire of the hydro plant across India. We are also able to find out the various protocols that are required, how actually the plant DCS has to talk to the Sharavati Control Center. And the one thing is, at present we are using the VSAT communication of Karnataka, but definitely over the period, optic fibers are there. It is getting implemented. Change over to the optic fiber also. Next, please. Therefore, the various activities as part of this going live later is AGC operational run will be there for about 3 months, December to February. Then the technical report on the AGC pilot will be showcased. Knowledge dissemination of the workshop will be there. There will be a state level and also the regional level workshops will be conducted. As part of that, report on the compensation for the secondary control for the hydro units will be there. We'll have a discussion. We'll have a various meetings with the Karnataka Electricity Regulatory Commissions also. And also all the stakeholders. I am very confident that once this the compensation report is out, KPCL MD Panaraju also should be happy because actually at present I know that actually there are the challenges, but definitely we'll be able to support that. And we have to, one thing very important we need to understand is Sharavati project I think we should not look that, even though I am from Karnataka, we should not look that actually, yes, this is a reservoir available benefit for the Karnataka, but we have to look at the national interest, regional interest, because from 10% or 20% to the 100% generation, within no time we can increase or decrease, so that actually that facility of Sharavati should be available. Therefore, we will be coming out with a suitable compensation mechanism so that all the stakeholders will be benefited. Based upon that, the scaling and the briefing of the highlight of the pilot results will be there, so that actually we'll be able to have the success story of the demonstration at the national event, which will be conducted sometime in April 2021. Once again, I thank you all for this participation. These are the teams. Therefore, I would like to thank POSOCO, KPCL, and also the KPTCL for all the support, and the working team, Srinivas Shanai, Superintendent Engineer at KPCL, Girish, GV Srinivas Murthy, Chandrasekhar Ayya, Madhu, and also various other engineers. The team is available here. Each and everyone has supported. Therefore, once again, on behalf of the USAID and also the GTG RISE team, I would like to thank each and everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nagaraja. And we'll now move on to the go live part of it, and I'll hand it over to Chandra to coordinate that. So over to you, Chandra.
Yeah, thank you, Monali. So I will take you through the 2 steps during this AGC go live demonstration. So first, it will be the control will be given to the State Load Dispatch Center at Bangalore, and from there we will move on to the KPCL, and I will take you through the screens and graphs, how the AGC control is going smooth. So let me make SLDC as a presenter.
Okay, sir. I will share.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chandra, full share. Yeah, put.
Can you just confirm that you are able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. We are able to see screen, sir.
Very good.
Yeah, before just coming to the AGC screen, we'll just in the SCADA panel itself, I'll just try to show what is the role here and what the parameter which we link it to AGC. You can see here the CGS share, entitlement schedule, actual, deviation, and ACE. You can see ACE, what is this ACE going on. And if you see how this can be helping, I'll go to the generator screen of Karnataka, where we can see Sharavati as of now. 10235 is my generation, and 421 is my actual generation. This is my capacity and generation. Out of 10, 9 units are working. Let me open SLD with values. So you can see so many things here. Our point of interest is generator 1 to generator 10. Here, now we'll go to the screen AGC. I think first we will take, I'll just open that screen. Now we go. As my colleague will show this. See, this is my ACE value coming here, and it is computed and the commands are given from here. And now unit number 4.
4 indeed.
4 is made.
Yeah, yes, sir. So we are enabling AGC for the unit number 4. So you can see the status change in your screen, sir. Unit number 4.
Yeah,
you can refresh, sir. That screen you can refresh. Yes.
Yeah, AGC auto You can see that generator. It is.
Yeah, Atla.
Yes, Madhu.
So now it is switched on.
Yes.
Command being executed. It's giving around 55.87 megawatt right now.
Yeah. So we are making a schedule power for the particular selected unit as 60 megawatt.
Okay. We can tell what's the variation for 60 megawatt.
Yes. Yeah, Madhu, you can go to the AGC control block and tell about the conversion between that convention between the AS and the generation rise and flow, so that I will take the screen from the Sharavati control center and I will explain.
Okay, right now AS you can see it is minus 323.5. So if it is it means we are deficit. So you increase the generation of Sharavati for the unit 4, which is under AGC mode.
Yes, sir. So from this onwards, I will just take the screen to the Sharavati control center. So the logic here becomes the delta P, that is a change in the power for each unit goes 2 megawatt. So that is the step we have designed here. So based on the ramp capacity of the units, this step will go to the Sharavati plants, and ramping capacity of the units has been given per minute 20 megawatt. That is the design value for that. So, and also we have made one security limit in Sharavati plant telling about 10% of the value. So that means the unit, if it is scheduled at 60 megawatt, the unit can go 10% higher side or lower side. Even though if the AGC signal comes beyond that boundaries, so it won't accept the signal. So that was the one checkpoint we have put at the DCS. So I will take you through the SCADA center now at Sharavati hydro plant. So I am making Sharavati control plant as a presenter. Yeah, you can make now, sir. So main screen. No, not this main screen. Yeah, you can see here the main screen where this is the control center screen, where you have can see all the units which are up and running. So basically unit 3 and unit 10 are not running, the other technical issues, and other all units are running on. And at present we already enabled unit 4 under AGC. Now just for your people understanding, so where we are enabling that AGC, so you can see unit number 8 also we are going to enable. So I request the operator to enable unit number 8 for the AGC operation. And you can give the schedule maybe 60 megawatt for this. So during this operation, we will make the schedule for 60 megawatts so that you can easily differentiate these two units which we are enabling for AGC is differentiated with the other units. And later on, so based on the signals received from the SLDC, that is AGC signals, so these units will respond positively or negatively, like a rise or lower as per the area control error at state load dispatch center. So now I will go take you through the signal what we are receiving from SLDC and how our hydro units are responding through graphical view. So I request move to the graphical view. Unit 4. Unit 8 you can put, because unit 4 might already reach the full capacity, right? Yeah. Yeah. Now you take the unit 8 so that they will see that response size. Yeah, you can do. So now we'll take the graph for the how the signal is coming from SLDC for unit number 8. So here we wanted to plot 2-3 parameters. The first signal is whether the AGC is switched on for this unit or not. So that is the status 0 or 1. If AGC is on, one signal will come. The next is, so what is the signal we are receiving from the state load dispatch center from the Bangalore, and how our generator is instantly responding. Yeah, you can see the right hand side. So it is instantly values will come. So people can zoom it if it is allows, because this can make things funny. So now you can see this AGC signal is on for this particular unit at particular time. So you can zoom this part. Yeah. See now this part, the signal status has been changed. Once signal status is changed, you can highlight the AGC signal from the SLDC. Yeah. So this colored one is the AGC signal, which is coming from the state load dispatch center. And now you can color the actual generation. Yeah. So you can see here the one which is going linearly up or down. So that is the one is the actual generation. And see the step how it is coming from the state load dispatch center. So it is basically coming as a rise signal. According to the rise signal, what we are receiving from the state load dispatch center, the unit is just smoothly is following to that. And we will just keep some pause here and let it, you can see in the graph how it is goes on. And just to highlight you, the schedule which we have given is 60, and the unit is requesting for the increase in the generation, and as per the limits given at the Sharavati generation station is the 10% plus or minus. So the unit can go up to 66. Is it reached now? 66 max? Yeah. Yeah. So 64, still it will reach some more 66. Yeah, you can zoom little more so that how it is tracking that signal and generation, people can watch it. The select the actual generation is the highlighted one. Yes.
Blue one, sir.
Yeah, that blue color one is the actual generation. The step change, what you are seeing, little red color, that is the AGC signal.
How it is.
It's now we almost reaching to the 66.
Now even the LDC is more than that.
Yeah, now you see the last point where LDC 66 has come and the unit has been responded for the 66. The now next delta P comes from the LDC 68. The down, if you see the number where the cursor is being highlighted, 68 come from the signal from LDC, but however, the limit what we have mentioned about plus or minus 10% of the set point scheduled. So is 66 only. So the generation of the actual generation of the unit will not cross 66, and it will stop there because that is my boundaries where I can support to the grid. So that 10% is completed. So because the generator response is not observed further from the Sharavati plant, so SLDC signal will hold at a 68 megawatt. Okay, so this is how the unit response goes. In case after some time, let us take if the A signal goes in the reverse direction, then unit will respond in the reverse direction. And this is because we taken this step, which is very much required because one unit or one plant cannot support complete state. So the units will support up to the limits which has been defined here, so that this is safeguards the unit performance and the unit those all the aspects. And if possible, you can plot the two generators, only actuals, that 4th and 8th.
Only actual. Sir.
Yes, yes.
I'll remove this one.
Yeah.
Remove, I'll just keep it on.
Yeah. So if Madhu, can you please confirm us if is the what is the grid condition, whether we can enable all 8 units under the AGC without changing the set value, we can enable the AGC and see the performance of all the 8 units. So I want to get the confirmation from the grid operator, seeing the grid condition.
Yes, sir.
2 units are there. Actuals, no? Only the actual generation.
Okay.
But to both doing it. So both are almost matching. Same values, yes. Because both units are generating at the full capacity at 66 megawatts. So both are matched.
We can make all units. Atla.
Sir? Sir.
In fact, our grid operation executive engineer, Mr. Maleshapal, is also here.
Okay.
So we confirm that we can go ahead with all 10 units also.
Yeah, that's great. So I request Saravati Control Center to enable AGC for all the units without changing the set point. So same set point, whatever the present is there, and you can enable the AGC for all the 8 units. So you can see on the screen, the operator is changing the position, and all units are entering into the AGC mode. Now I would like to know the plot for all the units actual generation into the graph, so that we will see how they respond. And we are a little lucky for that today. So all generators are not at full max. If it is on full max, we could not done this AGC for all the units. So both are
Chandrasekhar may intervene, so you can put it all the machine on.
Yes, sir.
Because the frequencies permissible limit generation will pick up.
Sure, sir.
We will manage. That's unit 3 and 10 are of the AGC. Rest of 8 units are on AGC.
8 units we are switching on, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will accommodate other generations, sir.
So we are adding all the graphs so that you can see the trend. Put all in giant control, no issue. So we are making the complete plant into giant control. Earlier, when we did the model that 4th and 8th units, we did that individual unit AGC. So now we made the giant control. Complete plant will be under AGC. So by the time how many units are running, so all units will go under the AGC operation. Yes, you can see now graph how the units are responding. The generations are due to the AS changes at SLDC. Now generation is coming down. So let us say, just wait, this is the giant control as signal has been changed. So schedule has been changed.
Check
Yes. So we will put the giant control at 400. So we can see the response.
400.
But
You can increase time controlling slowly so that it will also increase.
Yes, sir. So we just schedule has been given for the 50 megawatts, sir. So now 50 megawatt is the schedule. Now let us see the due to the AGC how the generation of the hydro units will change. And Madhu, can you confirm what is the yes sign now? Is it positive or negative there?
Yeah, it's correct now.
Present AGC. Now yes, area control error.
Is it on 300?
Yeah, 300 in positive side or negative side?
Karnataka is overdrawing.
Can you tell me sign?
Deficit side.
Okay, so generation is has to increase. Now the generation signal is coming in the upper side and generator, all the units are following the signal. Yeah. So it is about 55. We reached the maximum, I think. What is that? Yeah, that's fine. Unit 4, you will not put in the.
But it is different. LDC input is different.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so you can put in the graph. You can put in graph, trend graph.
1 and 2 it is
You can put in trend graph.
Clear.
Your screen, everybody are seeing.
Yes.
Yeah. That's okay, but here generation all are coming within the range only, right? Yeah. So this is the smooth operation of how the AGC generators follows the AGC signal. So then I request operators can take it back all the units to normal operation. Yes, yes, yes. So this is about the generation pattern and the smooth operation of the generation units as per the signals from the SLDC we want to show. As I already mentioned, Dr. Nagaraja, so there are the two-way communication and hardware facilities and software facilities has been taken up under this USAID grant support. And we made with the full support. I cannot say what support I got it from the KPCL or KPTCL. Every day whenever the team goes for working, so they are welcomes and they will work just like your internal team. So with that help, we were able to do it this activity. So with that, I just pass on to the control to the report to take over the next activity in the program.
Actually, request Manali to do that.
So I'm making you as a host, so you can do the activity.
Sure. Thanks, Chandra.
Thank you so much, Chandra, and thank you to the KPCL and KPTCL team. I mean, awesome. I wish we could have been there in person to see it, which was earlier the plan. But hopefully, someday we'll get a chance to visit and see this in person. So thank you so much to KPCL and KPTCL for their cooperation. And before, I will call upon our last speaker for today's afternoon, Shubhranshu. He needs no introduction. He's been, part of the GTT RISE team earlier as the COP and now as the senior advisor. So over to you, Pattu, to conclude today's afternoon.
Thank you so much, Manali, and congratulations to the KPCL, KPTCL team. That was awesome to watch. I can speak on behalf of everyone. So thank you again. So I'll drop the curtains with a vote of thanks for the participants who made this possible. So let me start with the Honorable Joint Secretary, Ministry of Power, Mr. Mrityunjay, who in his various roles has been a constant support and steer for the GTT RISE program. So thank you, sir. Thank you for staying on and experiencing this. We hope you like this. This is the way forward for not just thermal projects going forward, but hopefully for all hydro projects also. This was the first AGC pilot in a hydro station in India, and therefore a very proud moment for all of us. To the pilot partners, KPCL and KPTCL, in particular, Mr. Ponuraj, Managing Director of KPCL. Thank you, sir. We actually, this was proposed for the first time by POSOCO in early discussions that we should take up a hydro pilot under GTT RISE. And when we came and discussed with KPCL, we were virtually preaching to the priests because they were already converted. they were the first ones to say, we want to be part of this, we want to take this up. And so this was great working with you, offering both your plants, Sharavati as well as Varai. We experienced Sharavati today, possibly Varai will come quickly to follow. And so therefore, thank you very much for all the support all through, sir. To the KPTCL team, which has again been excellent all through. I think as Mr. Baba said earlier in the introduction, they have been the leaders in every which way you think about it when it comes to load dispatch operations across the states, whether it's from a technology standpoint or for adoption of innovative practices. And this is one more feather in your cap. So Mr. Chandrasekharaya and your team, thank you very much. This has been great, actually. And following through to POSOCO, I think nothing is complete without the guidance that we've received all through for all the pilots. They have been the nodal agency for proposing and carrying through all the pilots. So this was their concept to start with, to take up one of the hydro pilots for AGC. It's great to see that after almost 2 years, it's coming to a fruition now. So thank you very much, Mr. Baba, for the excellent steer all through, for the direction that you provided. Director of System Operations, Mr. Narasimhan, and of course, the reassuring presence of Mr. Suni all through, whose guiding light has been a great support to the team all through. And finally, to the team of USAID, Ms. Kennedy, Deputy Indo-Pacific Coordinator at USAID India. Thank you, ma'am. This has been, your support all through has been exceptional. Monali, who needs, obviously to be thanked, but she's an ever-present feature in all the, all the programs that we have, and as her support is immense all through, visible and invisible all through. And finally, to the team of Deloitte and PRDC, who have been the implementers of this program. I know the kind of work that Chandra, Dr. Nagaraj have been constantly doing, even through the COVID times, physically being present and driving this. So thank you very much for team GTG Rise for the support that you provided all through. And also to the implementers, finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the support of ABB, which will be the partner in driving through this implementation, both at the SLDC as well as the plant level. So thank you very much. This brings us to the close of the program. We hope to do a follow through when Varai is up and running. And of course, over to you, Monali. Thank you very much for staying back and experiencing this.
Thank you so much, Pattu, and thank you to all the participants and the special dignitaries for joining us today. This was really an awesome experience for us, and I hope it was the same for you. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you maybe next time for the Varahi hydropower plant. Thank you so much, and a big round of cheers for the KPCL, KPTCL, and POSOCO and all the team members.
Thank you. We'll be looking forward even for entry Kunta also to faster, the quicker.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Really, it was a dream come true for us, for my POSOCO team actually. Thanks to Subhranshu and all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Miss Julia.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Nagaraja sir.
Thank you, Dr. Nagaraja. Thank you, Suni sir.
Thank you, everyone.
And Mr. Nalarasa, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you, Nala. You're on mute, Nalarasa. We cannot hear you.
You're on mute, sir.
Okay.
Did you say anything? No, maybe not. Okay, bye. Thanks, Ripu.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see you again. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.